need a little more time and you will get there. The Denise and Newsome Show will inspire you to pick up yourself and go. You will find it's all you need to do. Reach down inside and find out you're the one. You don't want to fly, yeah. You don't want to read, yeah. You can do all things, just tune in.
Blessings, blessings, blessings to you. God is love, and love is for everyone. Welcome to the Denise Newsome Show, where we give credit where credit is due. Please like, share, tag, subscribe, and give us some warm hearts and likes. If you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comments section. Our special guest is professional photographer Jeff S. Rolle. In 2020, the world was in a major pandemic. People had lost loved ones and depression was on the rise. Jeff knew that he loved to take photos and thought to start taking pictures for families. This would be a great way to put a smile on everyone's face. Then Jeff noticed that everyone was on social media and they needed a look to capture the viewers. So he made a flyer advertising a photo shoot for $99. To his amazement, he started receiving phone calls and text messages immediately. How are
Hey,
you,
wonderful.
Mr.
How are
Jeffrey?
you?
I am
Hey,
doing well. I
good,
am
good,
doing well. I
good,
tell
good.
you, it is a blessing to have you. Tell
Uh,
us a little bit of history about yourself and your background.
oh, okay. I'm Jeffrey Steven Rolle. We call it S Roll. But yeah, I'm raised and born and raised in New York, and I am right now divorced man of 24 years, and I've been a photographer for about 22 years, and I'm a grandfather and a proud father. And I that's the kind of the small scope of who I am.
Great, great, great. How old were you when you discovered your love for taking photos?
You know what? I was in my um early 20s, and I
Wow.
just started literally just back then it was just uh the Polaroids, that the snap ones. My mother, I think my father, my mother and my father, either one of them had it. So I would just take those, and then my cousins, I would go over to their home, and they would have the little Polaroid, the rollback ones, or even the
Yes,
instant camera ones. So I would literally just love to just take pictures of everything, and I had no idea what I was even like kind of falling in love with until later on in life. Especially with the memories and with different things that were going on in the world. I just had
right.
a love for it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Believe it or not, I had thought about doing becoming a photographer.
Really? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It just some people, it's just a natural thing. They just kind
right,
of do it, and then some people just they kind of fall into it, and just they study it, they go to school, different things like
right,
that. But again, it's when you love it, it's something that's amazing. I think photography and along with videography are something that is amazing, especially right now in life because of what the world has been through and what we've
yes,
seen and what we've done. To know that we have memories of
right,
some of these things based on me
exactly.
going outside with my camera, or someone
Yes,
else, another photographer capturing the moments that otherwise would just be talked about.
right,
So it's a big
right,
deal.
right. Do
Mhm.
you have formal training as a photographer? And apart from, your own professional studio, have you ever worked in the studio?
No,
Someone
I
else?
actually, yeah. Well, I took some classes when I
Okay.
really started, and well, to back up a little bit, is
Okay.
that I had a love for it, and then in my profession and my work, I was a manager of an artist, and then at that point in my life, I would hire a bunch of photographers,
Right.
and I would see how much that I was paying them, the high end and celebrity
Right.
photographers, and I was like, oh man. On top of having a love for it, I was like, well, let me get into this. And then from the business standpoint of it, I was like, even though a manager is what I was, a music manager, I actually that was not something I loved. That was just something I was my ability to be able to
To
do.
be right.
But my photography was what I loved. So at a point, what I did was I just kind of morphed from being the manager slash photographer at the same time. So after a while, I kind of just and kind of morphed into it and took some classes, and then
Right.
and on site kind of training is really kind of the best you can do. As a shooter, as I mean, it's just like any other form. When you're a carpenter, you have to go out, get a hammer, and build houses in order to get better.
Right.
So as a
For
shooter,
sure.
I have to go out and just shoot, different things and different elements in order for me to get better in the art of it and the craft of it. Yeah.
Right. 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 Um. Now you had mentioned some celebrities. Name a few
hmm
celebrities that you worked with.
Well, I worked with Carl Thomas, who's a singer, Dave Hollister. Um, I've also Kelly Price.
Okay.
Um, I've also worked with a few others, a few fashion
Fashion.
designers
Okay.
that I've worked with. I've done Fashion Week a couple of times. It's really um, it's it's an interesting thing. People think it's just pull a camera out and just shoot and you can just snap, but it's not.
It's a
It's
lot
it's
to it.
it, it's a lot to it. It's a business. It's not only the business part of it is a lot. It's just the creative process is it's a lot just to do a photo shoot with a person. People don't understand that it takes a lot to do.
It does. It does. You have to really love it and
You have to
enjoy it
really
too.
love it.
Yes.
Really love it.
Yes.
Really
Yes.
love it.
What is one of the things that you wish you knew when you started taking photos?
Oh, one thing I wish I really knew was what we were just talking about is the element of the so many different elements of actually getting a photo done.
Done.
Because
Okay.
for the love of it, it was just take your camera and shoot.
Right.
I didn't understand lighting. I didn't understand what brand of cameras or lenses. They are just different things. So I wish I would have understood the different elements of that when it came to it, because at that time it was just there's a camera here, take it, you shoot, and roll it up, take it to oh man, I can't remember what the places were called. Some of the Kodak places had
Co-
their own
yes.
stores back then. This is I'm
Yes.
talking a while ago. Kodak pretty much had their own cameras. Then they had their own stores
Stores.
where
Yes.
you can
Oh, you going way
well
back,
yeah
Jeff.
yeah yeah yeah. They had where you could take their cameras to their own stores and then they develop it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what it was. And then again, when you get into more the professional side of it, now you're talking cameras and lenses and lighting and location and how you shoot, where you shoot, what's the elements of it.
Right.
So I wish I would have a little more
Okay.
about the shooting of it. Like, so to answer the question, I wish I would
Right.
have understood it a little more.
A little more. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Now, speaking of lens, what is your favorite lens?
Actually, I don't. I'm a Canon shooter, and
Okay.
which is yeah, I don't shoot anything but Canon. And my favorite
Okay.
lens is I don't really have one, because everything is really the way I run as a photographer is really based on my clients, because I can do multiples of things. Um,
Right.
you know, it depends on if we're doing a birthday shoot or um or a swimsuit or a wedding or we're just doing it all inside or we're doing it outside. It really all depends on what, because I don't really have one lens to kind of do everything. You know, it's just
Right.
multiple lenses do different things. So
Do
I don't
different
really have a
things.
favorite. It's all
That
about the client.
it's
Everything for
about
me
right.
will always be about the client. Right.
Wow.
hmm
Wow. That's amazing to me because, to know that there are different lenses,
Oh yeah, there's.
for different for
mhm,
different settings and sceneries. That's
mhm.
wow.
In Canon alone, I may be wrong. I got to get the number right. I think there's definitely over 50 different lenses,
Wow.
and from you can go from uh, $200 to $10,000. That's the range.
Okay, so Carmen have a question for you. My
hmm
son enjoys taking pictures. What type of camera do you recommend for starters?
I will always recommend a Canon because I'm a Canon shooter. So you can always go anywhere and get a very good price Canon um, uh, camera. There are the T's right now, which is the Canon TI8. You can always check that. But check the Canon camera, and a DLSR are always the best ones right now when you're a starting shooter, because I like those, because when it comes to Canon, a lot of the just say as a starter, when you buy a Canon lens, just say if your camera costs you $200 and your lens costs you, it comes with it, or it costs you another $200. When it's time to upgrade, you can use that lens with the upgrade of the camera. So that is what I do like about the DSLRs, and some of the other brands don't allow that. It's kind of a la carte. But when you go, because sometimes I still have my $300 camera that I bought, and I can put a lens on it that has cost me almost $1,500, and it gives me that quality of it because I've got like the really expensive lens, but it don't matter because the body of the camera is, still works with those lenses. So that's why I personally like any Canon that you can go to and find. Um, and you have to always read them and find what specs, because if different people want, some people want to just take it just for photos, and then some people want to take it for photos and videos. There's cameras that work well, for those things too, and they're not in this. They're really not expensive to purchase right now. A startup camera, so I would check out the Canon, the T's. Go, it's like I think you're at the Canon T8 right now. It's a great camera, not expensive at all to get.
Wow. Wow.
hmm
Thank you for the advice. She said thank
hmm
you for the
Oh,
advice. What professional photographers have influenced your work, and how do you incorporate their techniques into your photographs? Or do
you know,
you?
I have a bunch of, but there's uh I have I got a gentleman by the name of Brandon Rashad. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
He is the um he has the most picture perfect photos that I've ever seen. So I
Wow.
look at details on his stuff. I have a buddy that I shoot with who's one of my good friends, Kasani Curtis. He is what I call the outside master. He can shoot anything outside. So
Wow.
I always go to his Instagram once every couple of days, look at his stuff, see how his outside, how he shoots, his angles, his lighting, how he does. He's an outside master. I have a guy in Detroit. Q11 is his name, and he is a guy that shoots inside. So I have those three guys I really really look at,
Okay.
and for right now. But there's a lot of guys who has influenced me. But those are the guys I kind of look at right now, because I do so many different forms of shooting. Like
Right.
I can pick up again. I can pick up a birthday, a happy birthday shoot, or a wedding, or something tropical, or outside, or something inside. like just
right.
a regular, like a shoot that we did.
Oh, shoot. Right, right.
Like,
Yes,
yeah,
because you did my photo shoot.
like,
You
yes,
did my photo shoot and you did an amazing job. I tell
and
you,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
am plain Jane and you made me look Hollywood.
Listen, Darla, what you had, and I think that's what it's about too. And as I say, it's about the client. You were very clear and descriptive of exactly how you wanted this and what you wanted it. So it was my job to literally go over and abroad to deliver what you wanted, And I think that's what I do. I literally work this at each client to
Yes,
try to really go. I go out my way to make sure I give them exactly what they want, presentation,
right.
just whether it be the studio, just the atmosphere. Like I always really go out my way to just make sure that they have a great experience with me,
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
And I really did have a great experience with you.
yeah, we had
And I
fun.
appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
Hmm.
Now I want to go back for a minute. Um, you were mentioning about, you know, uh the inside studio and then the
Hmm.
outside.
Hmm.
What is the difference? Is it a big major difference with shooting inside opposed to outside?
Yes,
It is?
there's a humongous difference. Um, Shooters that shoot inside really have to learn lighting. You just
Okay.
can't do it. So you have to position the light to the left, right in front of their heads, right above them, right below them. You have to learn, and that technique is only by practice. Once
Wow.
you have to shoot that. That is just by practice.
Wow.
And you have to, because you're confined by light. So basically, if you're inside and you turn the lights on, that's what it is. So just say if I need more light on my left side, if I need more, so you have to learn the lighting. Outside, you can cheat a little bit because it's just broad.
Right.
The
Okay.
lighting is just, but and depends on the time of day you shoot. Like you shoot like during the day, in the middle of the day. I always say to my friend, the outside shooter, I said, he cheats so much, man. He's so
Right.
because he shoots outside, but his lighting, it looks like it's from heaven. It's just so perfect because he knows when to shoot. Like if he's gonna do an outside shoot, and it, depending on what the client has on, he knows what time of day to shoot.
Wow.
So there's an art to that, but there's a big difference between the two. You literally
Right.
have to learn and know lighting when you're shooting inside, and outside you can adjust a little bit because you're afforded the light, because of whether it's not the daytime or even at night, even the whole mood at night. It's easier for you to bring lights and light up what you want when you're
Right.
outside, even at night. So it's a
Right.
little bit different. That's a little bit more like the studio side of it, but you can still have a little bit more. You have a little bit more leeway outside than you do when you're in studio.
Great, great. You have another question from Melissa Jackson. She says
Mm.
she love your work. Which is more difficult to shoot, families or children?
Oh, good question. Um, Actually, both of them can be difficult at times. Everything is about the client, because I've shot a family that was maybe four, and no one pays attention, no one listens, no one anything. But then I've shot a family of 13,
Wow.
and it was picture perfect because
Wow.
everyone was in sync. Everyone they knew what they were doing, how they were doing it, what the process was, and then there was one person that was kind of directing them.
Okay.
And so I had a group that was, yeah, literally 13, and it was the shoot was so perfect, it just went flawless. But then I can shoot like a husband, a wife, a mother, and a daughter and a son. I'll be there 30 minutes, because
Wow.
it doesn't take long to shoot.
Right.
The process is more longer getting, like getting prepared. But
Right.
shooting, it doesn't take long. Like I literally can have, once we're in there and get into the shot, 10 minutes,
Wow.
if that, because we have already prepped everything and set the motion, set what the lighting's going to be, what colors you have on, what poses we're going to go through. We already have those are already prepared, in most cases. So shooting is doesn't take long at all. Yeah.
Right, right. What details do you believe make the best photos?
Mm.
And how do you go about focusing on them in your work?
Again, everything you hear me say is the client.
The client.
It's because I have some clients that say, um, I don't want no don't Photoshop nothing. Just it is what it is. And what's gonna be that's what's gonna be. And then I
Right.
have clients that say, I don't care. I don't want to see a pimple. I don't want to see a line. I don't want to see
Right.
anything. I want it to be picture perfect. That's what I don't want to see a dot, a line, nothing. So it really depends on the person.
The person.
I put a lot of effort into detail based
Right.
on what the client wants.
What the
I
client
literally
wants.
put a lot,
Right.
like I'm called the photo doctor because I will go in and put surgery on any photo that comes my way. Like some of them, they just don't need nothing, and some of them I gotta take my time. But it's what the client wants. If they don't want, you know, a certain thing on there, it's gone. I get
It's
rid of it.
going right. Right.
But
Wow.
it's on them though. I don't really,
Right.
there are little clients that tell me, okay, I want to be 10 pounds lighter. I'll be like, okay, that's what you want. And I do it.
And you
They
do.
literally do that.
Wow.
I literally can make a client 10 pounds lighter.
Wow. That's
hmm
amazing. That's amazing. That
Yeah.
is amazing. So explain the steps of your post production and how you stay organized when completing multiple photograph projects at once.
Yeah. The biggest thing is the organization of it. So my
Okay.
process is, again, different photographers, but my process is I take the picture, I upload it. And when I upload it, I literally, I'm a shooter, so that means I shoot just a lot. I just shoot a lot.
Yes.
I go through every single photo I take. So just say if a session with a person like yourself, I
Okay.
may shoot 150 photos. I look through every single photo and
Wow.
realize, and then I go back to the conversation we had and the vision that you had and the look that you wanted to do. And I pull and I make sure that I've captured those and I pull those photos and then I start touching them up if that is what the client wants. And then I always put them in specific orders, specific numbers. So when I send them to the client, they can look at them and say, okay, these are them. This is what I want. I want this changed. I want that changed. Um, and I think I pride on something too. A lot of photographers, um, which is no problem with it, but a lot of photographers take a certain amount of time. I usually try to cut those times in half. Like I usually try to be out of a a session of what I would say in 48 hours.
Wow.
I
Wow.
try to. There are sometimes it's not possible but to happen, but the 90% of the time, I like to be out of a session in 48 hours.
For wow. Wow. You do an amazing job. You have a
Yeah.
question from Danita Edwards. How
hmm
do you feel about the apps and software that makes those cosmetic changes? Do you have more clients who desire adjustments?
The first part of the question is I love those apps. Those apps are amazing. And yes, I absolutely have those kind of. In today's climate, you have again. I deal with a multiples of people. There are people that are very natural, don't want anything done, but there are people who to tell me to give me the Kim Kardashian waistline.
Right.
To all respect of person, I have nothing against anyone
Yeah.
what they want to do it because they're my clients and that's just what they, and again, it's no one is asking me to do anything, you know, absurd. I haven't really had that experience, but absurd and crazy, as far as the changes are concerned. But whatever they feel that they want an enhancement on a photo is what we call it. I don't have no problem with doing it. And I respect any person. I have nothing to say about someone who feels like they want to be. I don't. I won't touch no one's photo unless they ask.
Right.
That's one thing I
Okay.
don't do. I don't.
Okay.
I don't alter. I'll clean it up to brighten whatever it is up, but I don't touch. I don't take away anything. I don't maneuver it. I don't do anything unless they ask me to do it.
Right.
That's one
Right.
thing I don't
Right.
do. I don't touch. Because that could be offensive, and so I don't touch it at all.
Okay.
So someone I send it to them and they'll say, well, listen, is there any way you can move this over, take this away, or my natural wrinkles? I love them, but I want them out on this photo. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Right.
You know,
Right. So when you do a photo shoot, what
hmm
equipment is a must have for you, no matter where you are going to do the work?
so the must-haves that you have to have is obviously your camera.
The camera,
You have to have the lens,
the
and you
lens.
have to have lighting.
Okay.
And the other thing is more it's adjustable because it's backgrounds or backdrops. So basically, if you're in studio, you gotta have whatever color backdrops that you want. If you're outside, you just gotta have the right area that you want. But those are the must things that you always have to have. You have to have the battery. I mean, you have to have your camera, your lens, your lighting. And I tell every young photographer that starts, if you don't, those three things, and you always buy extra batteries and extra memory cards. If you have those
Okay.
five things, you can always shoot.
Wow.
You got to have the
Those are
camera, the lens,
the lens.
you have to have the flash, you have to have the extra batteries, the extra memory cards. You will always be able to shoot. Nothing can stop you from shooting
Wow.
if you have
Wow.
those things. Yeah.
And what is one of your favorite settings? What are your favorite settings?
I'm more or less like studio because I'm a studio shooter, but I go outside and I do other things. So I think the studio setting is one of my
Is better
favorites.
than your favorite.
Like it depends on, what- you know, and then again, now we're back to the client again because each client is different. Some want a
Right.
throne chair, someone's just plain white, someone to shoot on green, someone to shoot on purple, and then that's why I
Right.
work with different and I work with different people too, which is like some like stylists. They'll bring Brittany Johnson is one of the stylists that I work with. She brings her clients to me, and she'll have the whole that when she comes, I have very little to do because they have the
Okay.
whole vision taken care of.
Okay. Okay.
So when you work like with and then maybe a makeup artist that I know, when she has some of her clients come, they have a whole vision, and I just follow suit with what the vision is, you know, based on whatever they talked about. But they make it a little bit easier because they kind of handle that side of it when I work with like a makeup artist or a stylist or someone like that. So, but yeah.
Carmen Bermudez asks, have you ever done a photo shoot of a sweet 15 or 16? If so, how was your experience?
Uh, yes, I've done multiple and several Sweet 16, and they were fun, because they're different types of creative stuff, But I did a Sweet 16 kind of for a couple of young ladies, and we had stuff and pink everywhere. I mean, the whole thing was just pink, and it was
Wow.
beautiful. And then
Wow.
we had a kind of a gentleman we did. It wasn't like a Sweet 16, but a 16 that he did. He had all his buddies come and they dressed up and all together in their certain way. So it's always fun to do those because they're so creative. Like
Right.
especially nowadays, you don't know what the Sweet 16 is going to want to have or do. So I
Right.
love to shoot them because they're very very they're creative.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Right now, we are going to take a commercial break. And when we come
Nice.
back, we will continue with the
hmm
photo doctor.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do people really care? Have you asked yourself this question before, or has someone asked you? Could it be that people do care, but they may be uncomfortable with the topic of grief and loss, so they don't appear to care? Or could it be that they too have had their own grief story that overwhelmed their ability to cope with trauma? Therefore, they don't touch it or don't know how to. Excerpt from page 19. Rules of Engagement, Grief and Loss. Do People Really Care? Is a framework to support engagement and open and honest dialogue surrounding the topic of grief and loss. Written by Dr. Kiana Battle and Pastor Keith Battle. For more information on how to purchase your copy of Rules of Engagement, Grief and Loss, Do People Really Care? Please visit kbattleconsulting.com. Dr. Kiana Battle brings you service from the heart, focusing on training, education, and professional development. Specialty areas include grief and loss, trauma-informed practice, policy development, grant writing development, public school social work education, professional presentations, public speaking, and youth and adolescent development. Connect today with Dr. Kiana Battle by emailing her at info@kbattleconsulting.com. Mo Better First Musical Convention, July 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. with a $20 admission. Featuring Mo Better and Company, the Olive Branch Mass Choir, New Revelation, One Purpose, Summer Breeze Italia Record Company, and Denise Howell and the Youth and Teen Dance Company. This event will be located at Olive Branch Baptist Church in Dinwiddie, Virginia. There are round-trip bus departures from New York to Virginia, and there's also accommodations at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. Make sure for your hotel accommodations, when you make your reservations, you refer to MCBF. Questions? Comments? Contact Mo Better, 516-450-1087.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We would like to thank our sponsors for their love and support. Dr. Kiana Battle of Service from the Heart, Dr. Kiana Battle and Pastor Keith Battle with their newest book, which is now available on Amazon, Rules of Engagement, Grief and Loss, Do People Really Care? And Mo Better Company and Family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we were talking about the different settings. And this is what I'm trying to get. Exactly what it is you want to say with your photographs. And how do you actually get your photographs to do that? So I'm learning that it's like, have like a language.
Right. You know what? It definitely has a language, and it definitely is a statement, and it says something. A lot of time, what I've learned too, um, it's the client. I'm back to the same thing. The client will actually, when they post or put up or show or share, they'll tell the story of the photo prior
Right.
to me doing it. So that makes it a little bit easier with this day and time, the way that
Okay.
rather than when I did it before, because I really don't have to tell the story on a photo that I've taken. Most of the times, the individual who I've taken the photo of, they'll tell the story, or they'll explain it, or they'll say it, or they'll express whatever the feeling is they had at the moment. Whether
At the
they're
moment.
There's so many people that just take photos and they just didn't, they push to it. They didn't. It wasn't business. It was just they're really their birthday, and they didn't celebrate for two
Right.
years, and they just want
Right.
to do something. So they most of the time they tell the story now.
Right.
Here's where I would have had to put it up, put it somewhere, so people can see my work and do this. Now I do that too, but now there's tagging and posting,
Yes.
and so I literally it's weird because I'll go up on my social media and I'll just see a bunch of photos that I even forgot that I did. Like this
Wow.
photo, and I didn't put, and then that's when I go back and I see that person, and I'll put it up on my Instagram page, or
Right.
I'll do like that. There's just so many. Sometimes I just don't remember, but I'll and I see, and I do like book covers.
Okay.
There's a few book covers that I've done, and they're just, and I didn't know when they were coming out, and I look up, and social media will
There
show
it
me
is.
that there it is. So it's a album covers. So it's a good feeling. But again, this day and time, I don't really have to do a lot. I'll promote the company, but as far as the photos, most of the time the people post them.
Promoted.
Hmm.
Wow. What motivates you to continue taking pictures, taking
You know,
photos?
you know what? I've been doing this 20 years, and I kind of fell out of love with it. And um, the story is that the late great Doctor Bishop David Gates.
Yes.
I was going through a transition in my life, and I moved back to New York, and
Okay.
after being married for 24 years. And I was going to the church and just sitting down and getting the word. And that was what I needed at the time to
Right.
just kind of restore myself and kind of figure out what's next and what's going to happen. He called me in the office one day and he said, "Where's your camera?" Because I've known him a long time, probably 20 years, 30 years. Um, Actually, 30 years I've known him. And he called me in the office and says, "Where's your camera?" I said, "Well, it's in storage." He said, "I need you to bring it every Sunday. I need you to start documenting stuff, church." And he was very prominent in the community too, in the
Yes.
Hempstead community, because he was the president of the school school board.
Right. School board.
And so with that, he on Tuesdays or Thursdays, whatever the day was, he said, "I need you to come to the school and come with me and just start documenting stuff and just getting photos. I don't have adequate memories of stuff. People take photos here and there, but
Right.
for
Right.
his own thing, for the church, he wanted to do it, and then for him, individually. And so I just started doing that, and it just literally, a friend of mine's in LA did this, what he called a pop-up shop. Um,
Right.
and he charged $99 for people to come do it. And I don't know, for people that don't know, that Bishop Gates also owned the Liberty Tax
Right.
in Huntington,
Yes.
and at the time. So what I would do is I just say, "Oh, let me do it one Saturday and see what happens." So I did it. I did a flyer. I posted it, and in less than 3 days, I had totally booked for 2 days straight of photo shoots for $99.
Wow.
And it was just, I was so shocked and so surprised. I didn't really, it was just really overwhelming. And as as he then he transitioned,
Right.
and then what happened was that the location that he had, the Liberty Tax at, I just took over that,
Okay.
with the okays of our Pastor Jackie and Apostle Young,
Right.
and we morphed that into the actual JSR studios.
Studio. Okay.
And so that's what happened with that. And I have to say, throughout the pandemic, I had the most unbelievable experience throughout the pandemic, because people were literally online trying to recreate themselves, right? So what they
Uh-huh.
needed is they needed content. So they were coming to me to get the photos done. We had to do all of our safety measures and make sure, but
Right.
literally in the
Right.
middle of the pandemic, the studio stayed packed. It
Wow.
was it was it was amazing. And in those 2 years, or yeah, close to underneath the 2 years, I've shot well over 550 people,
Ooh, wow.
which is an
Now you know
amazing
that's
number.
nobody but God.
And I'm
Nobody
talking,
but God.
this is in the heart of the pandemic. I'm not talking about before. I'm talking about, this is
Right.
the heart of
Wow.
it. And because people were recreating themselves online, and then people were losing so many family members that they were like,
Yes.
"Listen, I cannot lose another person without getting this photo of them." I was
Right.
having aunties and grandmothers, people in wheelchairs, and it was just a
Wow.
it was just a great experience for me.
Wow.
So that's what that part of it was. So Bishop was the one that kind of gave me the nudge, and we kind of did all the due
Right.
diligence. And my love, and it really, and I think he knew at the time what I needed because it
Right.
poured the. I had lost the a little bit of the oomph for it because I had
Okay.
been doing it for so long.
Right.
But I think once I started doing it for him and then church, and then I started doing all the Pastor Jackie stuff and Apostle stuff, and then I just we came up with the idea of, "Nah, let me try what the way my buddy did it, and I had no idea how it was gonna turn out.
Wow.
I just figured
Wow.
the few people that I know a lot of people would support, but I didn't know. I had no idea it was going to turn out the
It
way
was gonna
it turned
be
out. Yeah.
wow. That's how you know God got his hands on it.
Mhm. Yeah, he
God is
totally has
definitely
helped
in it.
because I have never spent a dime on advertisement.
Wow.
Never.
Wow. That's
I've never,
amazing. That's
never spent.
amazing.
I've never spent any money on promoting myself, advertising. Never, not a dime.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How far have you traveled to take a photo shoot?
Well, ooh, all over.
Really?
So, yeah, because I what I did was I slowed it down a little bit because it was getting a little, but I would go to Atlanta once a month. I have a friend there that had a location, and so I just set up a whole location in Atlanta, and I would fly to Atlanta. That this is kind of during the pandemic. Atlanta
Wow.
was in the same scenario where they were needing stuff done, and people. So I was
Right.
literally booking all my clients for 2 days, flying to Atlanta for a weekend,
Wow.
and doing my clients there because I had a location, and then coming back. And then also I set up a small um, location in Charlotte. So I had my friends there that were really made sure that everything was well. And so Atlanta, Charlotte was the ones that I was doing consistent throughout the pandemic, and in New York.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm scheduled to in the next month to be in LA, and I'll do a pop-up shop in LA. So
In
that's what I'll
LA.
do. Yeah, because I
Okay.
lived there for 16 years, so I'm gonna tell everybody. I've told everybody I'm coming and preparing them. Set 2 days, and I'll shoot for 2 days and just kind of be in LA. So I do what they call the pop-up shops,
Right.
nowadays. But I've really been concentrating on um on New York right now, and then I've been doing a lot of corporate stuff lately. A lot of corporate
A
stuff
lot
because
of corporate.
yeah, because a lot of people are coming back into their offices now,
Right.
and so now they're getting their websites
And everything
and all
together.
their things together. So they're calling me in. So I'm going to their corporate office, setting up a couple of days, and they're shooting all their brokers, whether it's a agency or all their employees, and then
Right.
kind of going out. So and then
Wow.
I'm doing a lot of events too because
Okay.
now that things are opening up, people are whether it's birthday parties, weddings, we're doing all those events now too, which is fun. So I've been
Yes.
busy. It's been an
I
amazing ride, and I've
It's
been busy.
amazing. Your story is amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to tell someone, a client, no?
Mm. No, I don't really think I've had to tell them
Okay.
no.
That's good. Okay.
Uh, in kind of no, I really haven't had to. That's interesting. I really haven't had to tell anyone no. Like, I'm not gonna. Are you saying from a perspective of not shooting them, or I can't do it, or
Yes.
no? Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm. Nobody's come to me with anything that crazy that I couldn't
You couldn't
try.
do. Okay.
Now, if it was a shot that might be difficult, I would just tell them and be honest with them. I haven't done this particular thing before. We can do it and we can try it.
Right.
But I want to give you my honest assessment on where I am, as far as my capability of being able to do it. I'm a photographer. I can
Right.
almost do anything when it comes to that. But this I may not have done, and it may be a little tricky for me, so we can go for it. And most of the times when I'm that open and honest with them, they never have a problem. So I really haven't never had to tell
Had
anyone
to
no.
tell anyone no.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Tell us something you struggle with as a photographer. How do you work to overcome it? Is there anything you ever struggle with or
Yeah, you know what? As a photographer, not I get nervous. It's weird. I
okay.
think we were talking about this. I get a little
Yes.
nervous because I go back to the client. Once the client we have a conversation. We know what the direction is. Until I see it, I kind of get a little antsy. So the process for me sometimes is it gets a little nervous for me before until I actually shoot the first shot and see what I what I have because I either know that I can accomplish it or if I've already accomplished it on the first
Accomplish.
shot.
Wow.
So those are the two aspects of it. And when I shoot it, I can look at it and see, okay, I'm there, or either, okay, I'm almost there,
Right.
yeah, or either I know where I'm gonna go next, based on again all what we talked about, what we agreed on, what we were seeing. So that's what it is.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What are your superpowers?
Ooh, my editing. I'm
Your
telling you, when
editing?
it comes, that's why they call
Wow.
me the photo doctor. I can switch anything, change anything. I can. And and the com the way I make people comfortable to shoot.
Yes.
I think to walk in a room to I can convince anyone to relax and calm down
Yes.
and because it can feel almost the anxiety or a little nerve-wracking to kind of do a photo. It's not just that easy to just do a photo shoot.
No.
So what I do is I concentrate on making the person relax. Because if I don't have a relaxed person on the canvas, is what we call it, then I'm not gonna get a good shot.
Right.
So I have to do everything I personally can do to make someone relax, calm down, their comfort zone. Whether it's play their right music, have their right water there, have their right like
Yes.
whatever it is, I find out enough information to make the person feel comfortable because of an uncomfortable shot will not work. I
Will not
won't get
work.
it. You know,
Right.
it
Right.
just won't work. And 90% of the people has they left uh me comfortable at least shooting that session,
Yes, very much
at least
so. And I
shooting that
have
something.
personal experience with that because when I came, I was a stiff boy,
No, listen, we played our music and put our smile on and it was easy breezy after that.
It was. It was. You
Yeah,
had the music going. I had my
yeah.
water, like you said, and
Hmm.
it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. So what advice would you give to an amateur photographer wanting to change their passion into a full-time profession? Do they need fancy equipment or
No, you gotta shoot. You just gotta shoot and post it. When you're in that scenario right there, mine's is different. I'm known as a photographer, obviously, and people post it, like I was saying earlier. But as a photographer, you have to just shoot and post it because you don't know what people are gonna like. I've had people hire me based on a photo, obviously they seen of someone else.
wow.
So as a photographer, that's you really are as good as your work. You know what I mean? And when I see that from the perspective of it has to be seen in order for someone to say, "Oh, I like that. They can accomplish this for me," or they
Right.
can. And you don't think that people are looking and people are searching every day for photographer, whether it be street photography, a wedding, a birthday celebration. So I would just tell anyone that's coming up, just shoot and get with any experienced photographer who works a lot and ask the intern and ask or that because interns are turned into little paid sessions. I'll
Right.
just ask them to let me shadow you, um, in your shoots. Yeah, it's the hustle of it. You got to shoot, and you got to get with someone who's shooting, and your turn will come. It'll happen. And I've worked with photographers that came right underneath me, and they are doing amazing right now.
Wow.
In different locations, different places, and I'm so happy that just because the opportunity was there for me to do it, so, and that's ultimately my goal is I want to be it because I'm not going to be doing this. I've been doing 20 years, so I love what I do, so I have no complaints, and I'm going to keep doing it. Um, but I literally want to be a house for photographers, in a sense.
Wow.
That's like bringing guys, to just come and just shoot and have a location where you can just shoot your clients and it have to be anything. I don't have to physically shoot them. It's just have them shoot, that experience, so they can
Right.
just keep shooting and
Keep
keep
shooting.
working and working. I've only became the person I am because I kept shooting. I kept
Kept shooting.
photographing people. Whether it was some of them was my in the beginning, I couldn't charge nobody. I was just shooting them
Just
and they were
shooting. Wow.
promoting the shoot. The shoot. You gotta shoot. You
Wow.
gotta go outside, take your camera. There is not many places that you will catch me in a 10-minute stand. I can't pull my camera out.
Wow.
There's not. I don't go even when I travel. There's not places that I don't go that I don't have my camera with.
That you don't have your camera.
I
Wow.
can get to my I can get to my camera. Like I just and it's even it's a small the one that I travel everywhere with just keep with me, but I keep a camera with me. I don't go anywhere without a camera.
Without a camera. Wow.
Nowhere.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We talked about just about everything, but I just want to ask, and our time is running out, but I wanted to find out for those that are watching, how do you scout your studio location? Now I know that you have like two locations, professional locations yourself.
hmm
How do a person scout the location? What do they need to have in it, or
Well, you know what? Toscano location is kind of there's a oh my goodness, I want to try to give you the right information. It's called Pier. All right, but there's one site that kind of helps out with that, and
okay,
it kind of it kind of gives you and I will make sure I go back. I should have had that, and but it helps you scout out a few locations, and then some of these are a kind of trial and error too. You got to just kind of get out there, and if
okay,
you see something, you kind of can go ask the person, even if it's a location that may not might be no, because there's places like businesses that in the city that have the most incredible. The front of their buildings are old. The lighting is, I mean, the brick is nice. The irons on their stuff is nice. There's a lot of places in the city, but they don't. Sometimes you just gotta go knock on and ask, listen, do you mind if I
and that,
take a shot here real quick?
right,
And so you gotta kind of that's the trial and error thing. You just gotta get out and just
and just
go and just shoot.
okay,
There's
okay,
there's times me and the other photographer we'll just we'll just go to the city and just shoot.
okay,
Literally just shoot random.
okay,
We can be in Manhattan is the most heavenly place to just for a photographer. There's no lack of not a location to shoot when you are in New York City.
wow,
You can between the the bridges and just the locations, it's just anything that you can just think of. See, because I don't think people understand and remember and really know how much photography we look at on a day to day.
right,
I don't
right,
think they look at when you go into Starbucks and you look at a billboard, when you go into the Gap and you look at a billboard, all of those are photos taken. When
wow,
you go into anywhere, even in the city, when you're walking, the people with the billboards, the posters, and those persons, those will have to be photos have to be taken to be
right,
put on there. When you're in your Manhattan and you see the big billboards, all those are photos. Any store you walk in, you just walk in, so you will see this. That is one thing about a photographer's work can be anywhere because if you walk in every single store, will have a photo of something.
Of
There is
something.
no store, no business that does not have a photo of something in their store.
Yes. Wow.
So
Wow.
that would indicate that there's a lot of photography going on in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
There's-
You have another question by Melissa Jackson. Does your company rent any equipment?
Yes,
If
yes, 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 and yes. One entity or either extension that we call JSR Photography is JSR Studios, which is the location where you come in and get it. But we also rent equipment. We have throne chairs, the big throne chairs that we rent, the 360 machine that we have just recently inquired. So a lot of and I really get the best of both worlds because now with the 360 machine, so what has happened is that people bring me as a photographer in, and then I now am open to a lot to see, hey, you don't have to go somewhere else to get a 360 machine for the event. And
right,
I just set a whole package for them to be able to do it. So we definitely rent the throne chairs and the 360 machine that we have. We have maybe about 9 throne chairs
okay,
and the 360 machine that everybody is using right now. So yes, we definitely rent, and that is JSR Studios, which is the extension of the photographer. Yeah.
amen, amen. It's that time for us to come
Oh.
to a close.
Oh. Mhm.
Thank you for tuning
Oh.
in. Unscripted Media, thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey S.
Oh.
Rolle, the photo doctor.
That's the.
It's been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for your great service to the world. You are very professional, talented, creative, passionate, and a true man of God. Keep capturing every important moment on the camera. Doing your surgery, your clients are thrilled with the results of your work.
Mm,
Job well done.
thank you.
Job well done. Mother's Day is May 8th. We all know that parenting any child can have many ups and downs. And while we're all traveling our paths, we all need a little encouragement to encourage us through our day. The Denise Newsom Show will be having a Mother's Day special on May 2nd, titled A Mother with a Special Need Child Have Needs Too. Every day is a chance for a new beginning and to seek out life's possibilities. Knowledge of what is possible is the beginning of happiness. Our special guest is Serena Pettis, Carmen Bermudez, Ashikwa Lacey. I promise you, you do not want to miss this conversation as our guests share their experiences. Good night. Stay safe. God bless. Follow us on Facebook, IG, YouTube at The Denise Newsom Show. Check out my website, denisenewsom.com. We will close with our announcements. God bless you.
Uh, Thank you.
Thank you.
The Denise Newsom Show is giving credit where credit is due with a brand new lineup, live Mondays from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First Monday is live with Denise Newsom. Second Monday is In Your Element, giving our guests a chance to share what they do best. Third Monday is Mask Off, where authentic conversations happen with co-hosts Sybil Price Rucker and Deidre Moody. Fourth Monday is Live with Denise Newsom. We don't want you to miss anything that 2022 may have for you. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, and join in the conversation at The Denise Newsom Show. Increase your brand awareness by advertising with The Denise Newsom Show. Let us help you get your message out. We offer a 30-second video commercial or a voiceover flyer with your details. Visit denisenewsome.com or email denisenewsome64@gmail.com for more details. Help the Denise Newsome Show give credit where credit is due. Contact us today with your love offering or sponsorship to keep this show running. Also, like, follow, subscribe, and share to get the word out. You are appreciated at the Denise Newsome Show, and we look forward to hearing from you at denisenewsome.com or emailing denisenewsome64@gmail.com.